Hey guys, so I was out doing a water pump today, and I was just thinking I've got a few water pumps laying around, and I thought I'd show you some of them. This first water pump here is actually an early water pump. Now it has the studs for the belt guide, however it only has the 3mm clearance for the early thermostat. So this is just something to keep in mind. Just because you've ordered a water pump with the belt guide doesn't mean that it's a late water pump. So my next water pump here is from a 944 turbo. Now the main difference between this one and an NA water pump is that it has a hole for a thermostat to sit. And this thermostat helps regulate the temperature of the turbo. You can see that this is a late water pump, and it has a 5mm gap here instead of the 3mm that the early water pumps have. Now if you want to use this water pump on an NA, it's very simple. You just get a block off here and stick it on. You may find that quite a few cars that aren't turbocharged have these water pumps, but sometimes they cost a little bit more than just buying one like this. And finally we have yet another late water pump. This one looks identical to the 944 turbo water pump, and it mostly is. However, this one only works on the 2.7 liter and 3 liter blocks. And that's because the impeller here on the back is a 77mm impeller compared to 67mm for the other two. So while it will bolt on, it will rub on the 2.5 liter block. Now back here I have the most common gasket that will come with your water pump. I hear a lot of people putting Permatex and Hylamar on them. However, I've used them just as they are, and they've always worked fine for me. So here's the belt guide. As you can see, it's got a lot of wear on it from where the timing belt rubs against it. Early water pumps didn't have them. They were added later on, and they keep the belt from slapping into itself as it comes down this side and goes up this side. So if you don't have one on your water pump, you may want to upgrade. When you order a thermostat, you may find that you have a 3mm seal and a 5mm seal. Here I've installed the 3mm seal. There's a slit on the inside of the seal so that way it can be installed around the thermostat. This 3mm seal is meant to work with the early water pumps. Here's the 5mm seal. As you can see, it's much thicker, and it's meant to work with the late water pumps. Removing and installing the snap ring is best done on the bench. It's very difficult to do this job in the car. Here's the tool that I'll be using. It's just a regular set of snap ring pliers with a straight end. Once you got your snap ring in there, you just squeeze it together and it'll snap right in. If you buy your thermostat locally, you may end up with something like this. I got this from Advance Auto. As you can see, the thermostat looks a little bit different, and there's an O-ring instead of a seal. I've installed a few of these before, and I thought I'd show you how to do it. You want to install this thermostat first so that way it can press against the seal down in the water pump. If you put the O-ring in first, it will not seal against it. So here's that thermostat and O-ring with the snap ring installed. Like I mentioned, I've installed a few of these before and they've worked well. So you might be wondering, how do I know when my water pump's wore out? And when do I need to change it? Well, that can be difficult to answer. One good way to check your water pump is to pull in and out on the pulley. If you have any movement, it may be time to replace it. If you don't have any movement, try spinning it. And if it spins a little too fast or it feels too loose, you may want to replace it. Also keep in mind that having the belt too tight can accelerate wear on the bearings inside and cause them to fail. This water pump here appears to have failed by having the belt too tight. Well, alright guys, that's it for now. I hope that answered some of your questions about the differences between the water pumps over the years, and maybe even answers your question why you ended up with two seals in your thermostat box. So until next time.